morning, students. Now, in continuation to our Unit 1 of subject Legal Education and Research Methodology, we will sum up the whole unit. We already have included the topics related to objectives of legal education, then lecture method of teaching and problem method of teaching. Now we will see why a uniform legal system in India has been introduced by the Bar Council and what are the various methods that should be included in the teaching in legal education or legal institutions. Why they are required to apply when the law students are required to undergo the legal education, particularly the practical aspect of legal education, because in law the courses are professional courses, but 5 years integrated law or 3 years LLB, they are particularly framed for the practicing advocates, and LLM is the enhanced study of law after graduation. So here we will see what are the various requirements in teaching methods of legal education. Okay. Teaching is an art as well as science, and it depends upon the artistic abilities of a teacher. The most perfect teacher to create interest in its students and atmosphere in the class. It depends on the knowledge as well as the skill of the teacher to impart the knowledge in between his students, and to make interaction with the students for the particular subject, and the success will be depending upon his ability to create the enthusiasm or consciousness among his student. Like science subjects also, the teaching desires a systematic, procedural and mechanical approach. The aim of the teaching is to educate the people. There are number of definitions regarding the education or teaching, but the thing that is achieved is by the practice and desire of a teacher, that how the legal education should be successfully given to the law aspirants. The teaching in legal education is not teacher centric. It is a dual process that teacher and student should interact with each other, and they should implement some innovative techniques. For example, learning by doing, then learning by observation, learning by experiments. These are some techniques which can be achieved by the student and teacher while taking legal education. Now have a glance on the objectives, various objectives in teaching in legal education, that we generally know to give lecture to clear the basic legal principles or theory, then provide adequate or sufficient study material, involvement of the students in actual classroom, engagement of students in discussion and role play, then arranging the action oriented activities and creating classroom atmosphere. These are the basic ingredients of teaching in any faculty or any type of education, but particularly when teaching in law or legal institutions, the question arises, are these objectives sufficient to impart successful legal education? So we must say that some innovative practices are required for the new courses. In the year 1958, the first Law Commission in its 14th report on administration of justice emphasized that the main purpose of universities legal education seems to have been not teaching of law as a science but as a branch of learning, but merely imparting the students knowledge of certain principles and provisions of law to enable them to enter the legal profession. This really not good process in the legal education, and the law commission then suggested that the legal education should be given in attitude to enhance the practical aspect of the legal students or students of law. So the purpose of legal education is twofold. That one view favored legal education should be treated as a part of liberal education, while the other view that in favor of treating the legal education as a professional education. As professional education, legal education equips law students for filling different role in the society and discharging various law jobs. So in that sense, the legal education must be in a practical aspect. Then there are certain factors which affect to the teaching in legal education. So generally we know about the lecture method, problem method, role playing method, then clinical legal education, then practical aspect, lectures, tutorials, demonstrations, while discussion method, brainstorming method, and the other that presentations. So we also undergo presentations at LLM level because they are requirement to enhance the skill of the students while he is arguing in the court of law, or even if he want to join the academics, right? So in this way, legal education cannot be limited to the classroom education only. સો આવી રીતે આપણે પહેલાં જોયું કે લીગલ એજ્યુકેશનના હેતુઓ શું હતા, અને અલગ અલગ પ્રકારના જે ટીચિંગના મેથડ્સ છે, લેક્ચર મેથડ છે, પ્રોબ્લેમ સોલ્વિંગ મેથડ છે, આ બે વસ્તુ આપણે જોયા. તો લીગલ એજ્યુકેશનમાં પ્રેક્ટિકલ એસ્પેક્ટ એટલે કે પ્રત્યક્ષદર્શી અભ્યાસ કેવી રીતે કરી શકાય અને કેવી રીતે લોના સ્ટુડન્ટને સારી રીતે તૈયાર કરી શકાય એનું આ ખાસ લેક્ચર છે કે અલગ અલગ પ્રકારના મેથડ્સ ઇમ્પ્લિમેન્ટ કરીને આપણે લીગલ એજ્યુકેશનને વધારે સારી રીતે આપી શકાય. So we discussed about the lecture method. The lecture method is still the most frequently and commonly used and oldest traditional method of teaching, and it is a formal lecture, that is formal talk of the teacher in a classroom where he gives knowledge of law in the classroom. Generally the provisions of law are discussed, but in legal education only discussion regarding provisions of law is not sufficient. So the teacher must emphasize on the discussion of case laws, the brief facts of the cases, then what was the judgment, and how the verdict from lower court to upper court has been changed on what principles of law. So that will enhance the knowledge of the students regarding procedure of the court and how the judgments are taken in the public welfare or benefit of the people at large. So in this way, legal education itself has a practical aspect in its own syllabus, and at the postgraduate level we will also be studying about the research. Our subject is also related to legal education and research methodology. So various methods of research will also be included. So earlier we seen in last lecture that problem solving method. So problem solving method is also more or less directing towards the research methodology, because whenever a problem, a particular case law or a particular situation is given to the students of law, they have to think on it, they have to make search on it regarding various application of the laws, and in this way he finds out the best probable solution for such problem. It may be problem solving of a client if you are working as an advocate, or it may be solving the various issues related to that problem if you are an academician. And if you are a researcher, then you have to find out what are the causative factors of that problem in the society, because research in law is always related to the social issues. And then you have to formulate your hypothesis, then you have to collect the data, and in this way you will analyzing, interpreting the data, and then finally find out what is the solution for such a problem. So this is what the actual method of problem solving in legal education, or we can say that research. Now, even if you have read or discussed about how the new laws are being framed, or how the policy is implemented when there is requirement of a particular solution of a particular issue, in that sense also the research is made before framing any policy, and then the ultimate solution is taken out from the various the tools or techniques they are available for resolution of such issue, social issue or legal issue. So this is what the problem solving method. At education level, when we are studying it as a method of teaching, we will be taking it as a challenge for your classroom teaching, or a challenge for your clinical legal report, or doctrinal report, or non-doctrinal report. And in this way, a teacher can enhance the knowledge of the student for legal issues through problem solving method. So coming back to the lecture method again, we will see what is the utility of lecture method. So formal lecture is used to give the basic theoretical knowledge to the students, and which must be gained before practice of any skill by the student. So legal profession requires a skilled person with special knowledge. So lecture method is very useful in such way, because it gives a particular framework. It gives a portion of syllabus, and of course it is time bound, so it saves energy, it saves time. So what is the utility of lecture method? So lecture method is time saving, because it is useful to limited number of periods, and then a limited targeted audience, that is the students of a particular class, they are being delivered the lecture. So it will be very fast, and in well framed manner the lectures can be delivered, and hence the students can get the benefit of such skillful lecture. So in this way it becomes time saving. Then saving of energy, because at a time all the students are getting the same knowledge from the teacher, they can ask questions, and they can discuss on different issues. If they have not listened well, they can ask queries to the teacher. So this also saves energy of the student. The other aspect of lecture method is that when teacher is giving lecture to the students, he can solve various issues related to particular cases, judgments, or such disputes. So the students are saving their time to search for the same thing on their own way. So at a time all the students are getting benefit of particular knowledge based on the cases, right? So in this way it is also energy saving. Uh, then the most beneficial thing in a lecture method is that it requires minimum resources: a classroom, a blackboard, or a PPT presentation in a unit. That is enough for a lecture method. So students can gather in a classroom, and teacher can prepare their lecture, and they can deliver it with well examples, and in a good environment. So this is also the benefit of lecture method. Then lecture method can be easily repeated, and it can be modified also. Then introduction and summary also be taken by the lecture method. So environment in a classroom can be prepared well by the lecture method. So lecture method is very much important and effective tool for teaching in legal education. Now there are different merits and demerits that already we have seen in the last lecture. So compared to that, what are the various utility of problem solving method in legal education, that we will see. So problem solving method is nothing but the practical knowledge or practical activity taken with the help of the students by the teacher to give them actual knowledge of the law. The problem solving method is generally not used in the structured syllabus, because when you are teaching them the constitutional law, it is not required there should be a problem solving, because you have to first understand various provisions of constitution, how the judgments of Supreme Court has changed the scenario, or how they have been implemented for the public welfare. So it may be practicable as problem solving method becomes slow and time consuming in such laws or such syllabus. So it is difficult for the teacher to complete the syllabus in fixed time if he want to apply the problem solving method in a structured syllabus. So problem solving method can also be known as scientific method, because it is implemented scientifically to discover the various facts related to a particular dispute or a problem. So there are more authentic methods, as the problem solving method is finding out by discovering and searching the knowledge and searching the data for a particular issue. So utility of problem solving method, we can say that the students can explore different sources to collect the information relevant to the problem. They can think, they can repeat the law, they can research the law, and they apply their own minds. Brainstorming is considered as the first step in the problem solving process, because students are actually involved in problem solving method. Legal problems or issues, they are a fertile area for the problem solving method. In the solution of critical legal problems, the problem solving can solicit suggestions and opinions which may not easily be elicited in the other traditional teaching methods. So in this way, problem solving method is more useful for the students of law, particularly for the postgraduate level, because here the student will apply their own minds which they already have learned in the LLB level. In the objectives of problem solving method, the main objectives of problem solving method are to provide the opportunity of learning or expression feeling, then to encourage the students to come up with the creative and radical ideas of the solution, then to create problem solving ability in the student, to develop the practical skills, then to train the students to solve the problem in their everyday life, to provide practice session for students to test their ideas, then to clear the doubts and to create awareness about the real life problem. So what are different steps they are included in a problem solving method or problem solving session? So there are no fixed format. So there is no fixed format, but in general, the identification of the problem, then formulation or preparation of the hypothesis, then data collection, data analyzation or interpretation of the data, and then finally coming to the result, that is drawing of the conclusion. So these are the steps they are included in the research methodology also. So while doing any research, generally the first of all social legal problem is searched out, and then the formulation of the social issue or title of the research is made. So here also, if problem solving method is applied for the legal education, a particular law should be taken and then analyzing its provisions and finding out what are the verdicts, landmark verdicts are being delivered in that, and then finally coming to the conclusion. That will be a problem solving method for the students of law, and the task is given by the teacher. So આપણે આવી રીતે જોઈશું. તો પ્રોબ્લેમ સોલ્વિંગ મેથડ લીગલ એજ્યુકેશનમાં જ્યારે આપણે અપ્લાય કરીએ ત્યારે કોઈ પર્ટિક્યુલર એક્ટ અથવા એ પર્ટિક્યુલર લીગલ ઇશ્યુ લઈને એના પર આપણે જે રિસર્ચ કરતા હોય છે, ડેટા કલેક્ટ કરતા હોય છે, અને છેલ્લે જ્યારે એના પર આપણે પોતાનું મંતવ્ય કાઢીએ છીએ, નિષ્કર્ષ કાઢીએ છીએ, એ પ્રોબ્લેમ સોલ્વિંગ મેથડ છે. સાથે સાથે આપણે ક્લિનિકલ લીગલ એજ્યુકેશનમાં કોઈ પર્ટિક્યુલર જગ્યા જઈને અથવા કોઈ વિશિષ્ટ ક્લાયન્ટ્સને આપણે સલાહ આપી શકાય, કાઉન્સિલિંગ કરી શકાય, જે એક અભ્યાસનો ભાગ હોઈ શકે કે તમને એક પર્ટિક્યુલર લો આપીને એના આધારે કાઉન્સિલિંગ કરવા માટે કહેવામાં આવે. તો આ રીતે જે પ્રોબ્લેમ સોલ્વિંગ મેથડ અપ્લાય કરવામાં આવે છે તો એ લીગલ એજ્યુકેશનમાં બહુ જ મહત્ત્વપૂર્ણ રહે છે. અને કમ્પેર ટુ લેક્ચર મેથડ, પ્રોબ્લેમ સોલ્વિંગ મેથડ ઇઝ ઇનોવેટિવ પ્રેક્ટિસીસ એન્ડ વિચ gives effect or effective outcome to the students of law when they are taking this professional degree. And at the level of post graduation legal education, they can use this skill, or they can make the utility of such methods, problem solving method or lecture method, for their research application, or for preparing their own research proposal and pursuing the research. So in this way, the teacher should involve various teaching methods in legal education, and we will see in the next lecture the discussion method, then other brainstorming method, and then various different innovative practices in the legal education. And in this way, our legal education and research methodology subject will be taken for the next unit. So here the first unit, because it had only two methods in the first unit, lecture method and problem solving method, we have completed it and sum up today. Now we will start the second unit in the next lecture. So try to find out the notes, material for your preparation of own notes. Then tomorrow, the third Saturday of this month, we will be meeting in Google Meet at 4:30 p.m. So that will be clearly a query solving or interaction session, and in that session we will discuss about the first unit only, because we have covered up only that portion. So only and only questions related to syllabus will be entertained. So students, please join with the Google Meet tomorrow, when the link will be shared with you. And if you have any difficulty, if you have any query regarding this particular unit, we can discuss on it. So I am also sharing the PPTs, remaining PPTs of the same unit, and some MCQs based on the same unit. They will be sample questions of multiple choice, which can give you direction how the questions will be structured on a particular unit. And in case you can have the practice of such questions, and try to prepare your notes and writing assignments, so you can complete it within the time, and we will give the other directions in the next lecture. Okay, bye.